Good morning, everybody. So we're going to start the next chapter in biology. This is the most important chapter, chapter number 8. I think, is it right? So chapter number 8, it's not heredity and evolution. Before it is heredity and evolution. Now it is only, what is that, guys? Only heredity. Okay. So now, as I said earlier, in this chapter, there will be only two concepts what we are going to study completely, the most important thing. So in that, either 4 more question or 5 more question surely will be there in our board exam. 100% guarantee question from heredity. So based upon the traits formation, I will make you as simple as possible in such a way that where you never commit any mistake in the question. By seeing the question, you can form the formation of alleles or formation of genotype or formation of phenotype. So whatever they are asking, you can form it. Okay. So today I will give you the introduction and I will try to come to the accumulation of variations, and then we will continue from here. Even offline class, I will teach you the different varieties of questions in this heredity so that it will be very familiar for you to solve. So now let us see, if you observe very carefully, last class, last chapter, what we have studied, you can notice it. How do organisms reproduce? So how do organisms reproduce? So we all knows that why they should reproduce basically. So no organism can survive like forever in this environment. If it wants to continue its offsprings, the one and only method is to reproduction. So only by the reproduction, the organisms, they will continue their life through their offsprings. That is the importance of reproduction. So this reproduction, as we all studied that, two different types. One is asexual reproduction. Another one is what, everyone? It is a sexual reproduction. Now here, if it comes to the asexual reproduction, DNA copying will take place. DNA copying will take place so that variations are little variations or extremely variations. Everybody, please respond. So variations are very, very limited. So variations from one generation to the next generation is very, very limited variations will take place. We can easily notice the changes. So they are almost exact copies of what? Everybody. They're exact copies of, please respond, parents or parental organisms. So that is what we people studied about the asexual reproduction. So they are identical to the whom, guys? They are identical to, please respond, guys. They are identical to parent organism. So that is what we used to call as asexual reproduction. Coming to the sexual reproduction, even yesterday we studied. So here DNA copying is not taking place. Do you understand it? So DNA copying is not taking place. So why? Because is not possible. So why? What will happen, everybody? Here two parents are involved. Either it is a plants or it is animals. Doesn't matter. So two parents are involving. So what is the two parents, everybody? One is male parent. Another one is what? Everyone? Yes, please.
Female parent.
Female parent. So male parent will give male sex cells, and female parent will give you what? Female sex cells. So now male sex cells is having the half DNA. Means half DNA means what, guys? Half of the chromosomes. Half of the chromosomes. Female sex cells also having half of the chromosomes. So this both will fuse each other. Means the egg and sperm will start fertilize each other. So they will undergo the fusion and they will undergo the fertilization. So fertilization, so that they will form a fertilized egg. That is only we used to call as, what we used to call, guys? Everybody? who is zygote. So now here, if you notice it, a large number of variations are invited. So why it is? Because two parents are involving. Male parents maybe belongs to something, and female parents may belongs to some other family. So there will be a lot of variations can notice from parents to the offsprings. So they belongs to both male characters and as well as female characters, like noticeable changes. So large number of variations takes place in this. That is why now your question to you people. So in which case the organisms, offsprings having advantage of surviving based upon the environmental changes? Anybody? Sexual or asexual reproduction? In which case the offsprings having a large possibility of surviving based upon the environmental changes? That is what is my question. Everybody? Yes, please. Sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction? Please respond, guys. Sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction, like more possibility for the offsprings for the survival based upon the environmental changes. So that is the importance of sexual reproduction. But if you notice in sexual reproduction, they are not identical to the parents. What is that, guys? Here, please respond. They are? Yes, please. They are similar to the parents, but they are not exact copies of parents. They are similar to the parents. Means they may have some characteristics of both mother as well as father. So that is what we have studied in entire previous chapter. So we see that how the offsprings are similar to the parents. Like all living organisms, they will reproduce their young ones. That is what offsprings, which they are resembling their parents to a large extent. So that is what, like you can see that human child, you can notice, for example, even in our friends, we all notice some people are having we can notice it, very soft hair. Some people are having curly hair. Some people are having like very like what we can say brown hair. Some people are having brown eyes. Some people are having like black eyes. Some people are having like green eyes. You can notice it, blue eyes. So there is many changes. We can notice it. That is coming from the parents. So even you can see in our friends, some are having too much of curly hair. Even girls also. Somebody's having like a soft hair. So some people long hair will grow. Some people hair will never grow. Some people are having bald head. Some people does not have bald head. Even some people at the childhood itself, they will get the white hair. That's what gray hair. We should not say white hair, gray hair. Like that, we will notice it. Many kind of changes, like many differences among even two people. So of course, identical twins also, there will be noticeable changes. So if you take the human child, if you notice the human child bears all the basic features of human being. If you take the suppose a rice plant, a paddy plant, it will always produce rice grains, which will turn and it will grow into again rice plants. Like that. But the rice plants which is producing, like suppose I am having a seeds now. So if it will undergoes a sexual reproduction, so the variations in the rice plant, maybe this rice plant may not survive for these environmental conditions, but the offsprings which are producing by the sexual reproduction, they may be survive in the based upon the changes takes place in the atmosphere. So they will get that is what we can say, they will evolve, evolution will take place. In sexual reproduction, there is a greater possibility of evolution, so that organisms, that is what the young ones, they will adopt the situations based upon the changes taking place in its surroundings. So if you notice it in sexual reproduction, the offsprings resemble their parents, but they are not identical. If you notice asexual reproduction, they are exact copies, like they are identical to the parents, there will be a very small variations in the asexual reproduction. But in sexual reproduction, they are resembling, their looks like their parents, but they are not identical, because usually it is differs among themselves and also from their parents also. So there may be differences in facial features, height, weight, eyes, hair, and different kind of other parameters. You can check it. So all these individual variations, if you notice any two persons, it is not even I will say you can experience it. If you take any two persons also, there is no kind of common physical appearances. All these are individual variations. If you take the facial features, height, weight, eyes, hair, the texture of the hair, body structure, everything, all these are individual variations in the physical appearances. So if you take the individual variations among the different members of offsprings, it is actually essential features. They are actually in all the individual subspecies, minimum essential features, like for surviving purpose. If they want to survive based upon the changes taking place, so they need the minimum essential features are same in all the individual subspecies. Like if you take all the humans, we are having a common features that is actually for surviving. But there will be differences from one person to another person. Again, remember, instead of having a individual variations among the different members, if you take, for example, two boys or two girls, they're having a different amount of variations, many number of variations one among each other. Maybe their hair is not same, their eyes are not same, their facial features are not same, their weight is not same, but there will be a minimum essential features which are same, like only, like we can say, two legs, two hands, two eyes, one nose, more, two ears, like that. These are the minimum essential features. They are same in all the individual subspecies. That is for surviving. So if you take this heredity chapter, how we are getting, you can notice it. If anybody will get a girl baby or boy baby, they'll say, hey, this boy looks like mother, this boy looks like father, his hair looks like a mother's hair, his hair looks like a grandfather. We will say that. He looks like father will say, he looks like my father, like he's resembling my grandfather, exactly like that. So we are all talking about it, how it is happening. That is what we used to call as heredity. So heredity means, also we can call it as inheritance. Please learn it. Inheritance means coming from our parents. What is exactly coming from our parents? That is what we used to say heredity. Some people are having skin allergy. So I know some of the people in my surrounding. So they'll be having some problem in the skin. They'll say it is because of heredity. Means from their parents it is coming. Some people are having no proper, like we can say, vision. That is also because of heredity. Some people are having sugar from the birth itself. Nowadays they are getting that is heredity. So that is the meaning of heredity, that which is coming from our, like, transmission of characteristics from one generation to next generation, means which is coming from our forefathers or grandparents or parents to us, is called as heredity. Do you understand, everybody, what I'm saying? Means the parental characteristics to the successive generation, young generation, young ones, transmission is only called as heredity, or we can say inheritance. So please, I hope you all understand, everybody. So heredity means transmission or transferring of characters or traits from one generation to the next is called as heredity. So please write it. First, heredity also we can call it as what, all of you? Inheritance. Do you all understand, Hari? What exactly we are going to make? Right. Continuity or transmission. Omar, are you there? Transmission of
Yes, sir.
characters. Transmission of characters. Characters only we used to call as traits. Okay, Omar? So please remember, traits are characters. Both are same. Characters are traits from one generation to another. Another is termed as heredity. So what simply I want to say in a single word, what we can say is that everybody, parental characteristics to the successive generation, like transferring of parental characteristics. Parental characteristics transforming from to the young ones. Young ones. That is what transmit. Transmit means passing. That is what we used to say is that heredity, or we will say inheritance. So basically it is a branch of science that will deals about the responsibilities, like responsible for similarities and dissimilarities among related species. That is what we used to call as genetics. So this is a branch of science where we will speak about heredity. What is the similarities between two organisms? Like you can take humans. What is the similarities between two humans? What is the dissimilarities between the two humans? So everything, that is what we used to call as genetics. So which will deals like about the heredity futures or inheritance futures from parents to offsprings, and also explains the variations among the different individuals, how the characters are coming from parents to the offsprings, and how it will leads to the different variations when it is transferring. So these all the things we are going to study in this heredity. So entire genetics, it will talk about what exactly you are getting from your father or mother and what variations you are getting. So that is what it will speak about it. Do you understand? In this chapter, we are entirely discussing about what heredity you got from your parents and what kind of variations you are noticing from your, like what is not there in our family, like your father or mother, and what you have different. That is what, for example, your mother and father may not survive at the temperature like high temperature, but you may got variation that you can survive even extremely high temperatures. That is your variation. Your father also likes ice cream and you also like ice cream. You are fond of ice cream, then that is the heredity. Your father used to sleep fully, always likes to sleep, you also wants to like to sleep. That is variation. Sorry, that is heredity. Your father is very active in the work, then you are also very active in the work. That is actually heredity. So suppose your parents are very very active but you are very very lazy. That is variation. So it's not that you are getting because of surroundings. It is actually the heredity. It is actually the genetics. That is what is about heredity. So heredity will makes the similarities and as well as dissimilarities. How, what kind of variations we are getting, what kind of heredity we are getting. So first, a person who talks about this genesis or the genetics, that is what do you mean by genesis? Genetics means, that is meaning of genetic is grow into, or we can say to become. That is the meaning of it. The first person who spoke about W. Batson. He is the person who coined the term genetics first in 1905. So it is actually derived a word from Greek word. The Greek word is actually a genesis. Genesis means grow into. That is the meaning of it. Okay. So let us see what is the important terms we are going to use in this genetics, the heredity chapter. Remember, if you understand these terms, today itself you will become a very good in heredity chapter. You'll never face any difficulty. I will give you the challenge. Okay. So you all can see that after that, when you are solving the questions, if you remember the points, what I'm going to say you today, 100% you can solve any kind of question from this heredity. Okay. So first, so terms related to used in genetics, basically, the first term we are going to use is heredity. Okay. So already I have taught you. What do you mean by heredity, guys? Yes, please. The transmit parental characteristics to the what? Successive generation. That is what we used to call as what? Everybody? Yes, please. Heredity. Next one. Inherited traits. Inherited traits. So what do you mean by traits, guys? What I said, traits means.
Characteristics.
So from the birth, inherited traits means from the birth what you are getting from your parents. You can see some characteristics, physical appearance, maybe you can get it from your parents by the birth time itself. But some characteristics, when you are growing, it may be coming out. So there will be a greater possibilities of the characteristics of our parents may not appearance at the time of birth, but later it may be when you are grown up, it may be coming out. So inherited traits means from the birth. So the characteristics are traits that are transmitted from parents to the offsprings. Parents to the offsprings are known as inherited traits. So what is the parents to the offsprings? Can you tell me what will happen? What kind of things will get it? Example, anybody? Mainly you can notice it by the birth time. Eye colors, do you understand it? And you can see, like we can notice some people are having a tongue rolling or a left-handedness. This all the characteristics will come from the parents. So that kind of things we used to call, like for father is a left hand, then children also may be left-handers, or we can say tongue rollings, like we can notice it. So this is all we used to call it as, even right-handers also we can say, this is what we used to call as inherited traits, which are coming from parents to the offsprings from the birth itself. That is what we used to call as inherited traits. Do you understand? Yeah, that is what Manikanda. Okay, next, variations. What do you mean by variation, everybody? What do you mean by variations, guys? Different characteristics or traits among individuals of a species. That is what we used to call as variations. Clear, everyone? All of you? Please respond, everybody. Next is chromosomes. So we all people knows chromosomes are present in where? Inside the nucleus of the cell. That is what we can say a thread-like structures. Write it. A filamentous thread-like bodies. A filamentous thread-like bodies. Where they are present, guys? Everybody. Present in the where? Nucleus of the. Yes, please. Nucleus of a cell. That is what we used to call as chromosomes. So it is actually a what material? DNA. That is only we can say actually chromosomes. Protein complex. DNA means what? Anybody can tell? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. Yeah. Next. Gene. A unit of inheritance. A unit of inheritance a unit of inheritance forming part of a chromosome. Forming part of a chromosome is called gene. So it is a section of DNA, guys. You can notice it. It is the particular part or a section of DNA found on chromosomes. Everybody clear? So basically, the genes are passed from the parents to the offsprings via chromosomes only, which are present in the nuclei of the parental gametes. So if you have taken male gametes, male sex cells, we are having, or male sex gonads. So male sex cells, and we are having a female sex cells, like if you take sexual reproduction. So inside the sex cells, there will be a nucleus. If you notice it, inside the egg also, there will be a nucleus. Inside the sperm also, there will be a nucleus. So now if you have noticed it, basically, so here inside this nucleus, there will be a chromosomes. That is what is actually, we used to say, genes. So these genes, you can notice, they will actually pass from the parents to the offsprings. Parents to the offsprings via chromosomes. Means characteristics. So if I take, for example, this is the chromosome. The particular part of the chromosome is responsible for particular characteristic. That is called as, what we used to call, everybody, it is called as gene. Okay. So which is only responsible for transferring the characteristics, genes, from parents to the offsprings. Basically, they are present in where? They are present in the sex cells, where? Inside the nucleus of the sex cells. Male sex cell and female sex cell. That is what you have to remember. Next, this male sex cell also I can call it as male gamete. Female sex cell also I can call it as female gametes. That is what we used to call as male and female sex cell. Female sex cell, we used to call it as gametes. So please learn that also. Both male and female sex cells, we used to call it as gametes, or we can say germ cells. Again, don't forget, we also call it as a germ cells. Please write it. Next one is most important one. That is the alleles. So now, all of you go to the mirror immediately. Now itself, just take 10 seconds and you can go and see, just observe your earlobes and come and tell me either you are having free earlobes or attached earlobes. Make it fast, everyone. Go and come back. Either you are having free earlobes or attached earlobes. That's all I wanted. Make it quick and let me know, everybody.
Free earlobe.
Yeah.
Free earlobe, sir.
Yeah, who is having free earlobes?
Swathan,
Swathan. Okay. Others?
Free earlobe, sir.
Is there as?
Free earlobe, sir.
Free earlobe. Okay. Where are? Anybody's? Okay. So you all notice it. This is the most common thing you can notice. Just you see, many of you are saying free earlobes. Anybody is having attached earlobes? Anyone at least from you? You just check it. Somebody will be having, because we are having bulk. So definitely there will be a possibilities of attached earlobe. Anyone? Yeah, yaar? Yeah, Jivitesh. Okay. Any other? Yeah, most of you are free earlobe. So if you notice it here, so basically alleles, what do you mean by alleles means? Remember, they are the actually alternative forms of genes. Alternative forms of genes, or we can say a pair of matching genes. A pair of matching gene. That is what we used to call as alleles. So that is what, for example, if you take, so free and attached earlobes, if you notice it in our surroundings, even in our family, you can check it. Most of us will be having, you can see, basically in entire human beings, there is only two earlobes. So one is free earlobes, another one is what? Attached? Yes, please. Attached earlobes. So in entire humans, if you go anywhere in the world, there will be only two possibilities of things. That is what? Free earlobes. And the second one is what, guys? Attached earlobes. If you notice it here, this is what we used to call as free earlobe, and this is what we used to call as attached earlobe. So if you remember, free and attached earlobes are due to the two different forms of genes, which is basically found in the human beings. So out of these two alleles, this is only called as alleles. That is what I am saying, a pair of matching genes. That is what we used to call as alleles.